Well, hello there, and welcome, folks, to another episode of 162 Times, your daily baseball recap and preview show. I'm your host, Daniel Turner. It's great to be with you Friday night here in Ottawa. You know, it's kind of quiet. It's Ottawa, Friday night. Episode, 159. And then we'll have 160, 161, and 162 coming to you between now and Monday. And I knew this episode was coming for a while, but it is a sad one, and it's basically the Mariners have been eliminated from the playoffs. Notice that I must give you, fans. And so we'll get to that. But yeah, as of this moment, as of the recording of this podcast, the Seattle Mariners have 3 games left to play, and they are 3 games out of a wild card spot, 4 games out of the division. And I guess they don't hold the tiebreakers, but effectively they are not making the playoffs again. And I'm kind of sad about it. But you know what? It's okay. We've still got a show for you today. We're going to finish the season. Last episode, I'm going to look back at my silly predictions for the year and kind of see how they all went. But for now, we got to talk about Wednesday night's game against the Astros that the Mariners played. We got to tee up tonight's game, where the visiting Oakland Athletics are coming to town. And it could be worse, folks. This is the last series the Oakland Athletics will ever play. They're going to Sacramento next year, temporarily, and then maybe to Vegas. But they are entering the great beyond, sadly, of baseball fandom. They left. A big crowd sent them off at Oakland Stadium on Thursday night, I believe it was, last night. Their last game at the Coliseum against Texas. We'll talk about that score when we get to the out-of-town scoreboard section of this episode. And we've got a matchup between J.P. Sears and Brian Wu. What do you know? Tonight, that kicks off at 10:10 p.m. Eastern Time, so in about 3 hours. And I'm probably going to tune in because that's what I do, and I like watching the Mariners play the Athletics. And if this is the last 3 games the Mariners ever play against the Athletics, and it means staying up till 1 a.m. on a Friday night to watch a meaningless game, then that's what I'm going to do, because that's what I'm here for, folks. That is what I'm here for. So, without too much more lollygagging, let's talk about a great thing that happened. So, Wednesday night, after having lost the second game of the 3-game set to the Astros, the Mariners thumped them 8-1. George Kirby getting his 14th win of the year, 14-11, 3.53 ERA on the season. The loss went to former Blue Jay Yusei Kikuchi, 9-10, 4.05 ERA. Astros go to 86-73. They won the division. The Mariners, 82-77, second in the West. Good pitching night from George. His classic 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 6 Ks, 96 pitches. Kikuchi, 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, none of them earned, 1 walk, 8 Ks, no homers given up. JT Chargois out of the bullpen, clean inning. Colin Snyder with 2 Ls. 2/3 of an inning, 1 walk, 1 K. Saucedo, 1/3 of an inning. Spire, an inning, 1 K. 8 Ks on the night for Mariner pitching. Houston had 13 strikeouts. Dubin, an inning, 2 hits, 3 runs, only 1 of them earned, 2 Ks, 1 homer. Ferguson, 1 inning, 1 K. And Neris, evil old Hector Neris, who got in Julio's face way too hard last year. 1 inning pitched, 2 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned, no walks, 2 Ks, and a homer given up. Guess to who? None other than Julio Rodriguez, but we'll get to that in a minute. Shea Whitcomb, yes, that name, Shea Whitcomb, who played both second and third in this game for the Astros, made 4 errors in the game, 2 fielding, 2 throwing. And Jason Hayward made a throwing error as well. He was also 0 for 4 on the night. All right, let's get to the scoring. Started bottom 3, Victor Carantini singled. Allowed John Singleton to score. 1-0 Houston. 8 hits for the Mariners, 8 runs, 1 error. 4 hits for the Astros, 1 run, 5 errors. More errors than hits. Not a great night for Houston. Top of 6, Justin Turner singles. Allows Dylan Moore to score, Victor Robles to score. 2-1 Seattle. Way to go, JT. Mitch Garver, 14th of the year, home run. Solo shot, 3-1, top 7 that was. Then Victor Robles reached on a fielder's choice, and J.P. Crawford scored 4-1 Seattle. Then Randy Arozarena reached on an error by third baseman Shea Whitcomb. Victor Robles scored 5-1. And then Victor Robles doubled and allowed Dylan Moore to score 6-1. That was top of 9. Then top of 9 again, as I said, off Hector Neris. Julio, his 20th home run of the season with Victor Robles on base to make it 8-1. Seattle, your final way to go, boys. All right, so before we tee up this Athletics game, let's look around the scores. So there was still hope in the air back on Wednesday, September 25th. Mariners had just won 8-1. Phillies beat the Cubs 9-6. Guardians beat the Reds 5-2. But then the Tigers, they beat the Rays 7-1. Yikes. I think that was a sweep for the Tigers in that one. Pirates beat the Brewers 2-1. The Royals beat the Nationals 3-0. I think that was a sweep for the Royals in that one. Tough. The Orioles beat the Yankees 9-7. The Jays beat the Red Sox 6-1. The White Sox beat the Angels 4-3 in 10. The Twins, unfortunately, beat the Marlins 8-3. The Cardinals beat the Rockies 5-2. The Diamondbacks beat the Giants 8-2. The Rangers beat the Athletics 5-1. The Dodgers beat the Padres 4-3. And the Mets and the Braves were rained out again. And this is a key series because of the National League wild card, and there's some hurricane going on down in Georgia or something like that. So they can't play games right now down there, which is hilarious. Then the Mariners were off on Thursday, and the Brewers beat the Pirates 5-2. The Royals beat the Nats 7-4. The Tigers beat the Rays 4-3. That was the sweep, pardon me. The Angels beat the White Sox 7-0. Great story in this one. Chris Flexen got a $750,000 bonus because he pitched a certain number of innings, and he needed to basically go 7 innings that game in order to get it done, and he did. Former Mariner Chris Flexen. The White Sox have said 120 wins is enough. We are not losing anymore. They've won, I think, 2 or 3 in a row. Very interesting. The Rockies over the Cardinals 10-8. The Athletics over the Rangers 3-2. The Yankees over the Orioles 10-1. The Marlins over the Twins 8-6 and 13. Twins fighting for a playoff spot too, but like the Mariners, actually worse than the Mariners. They've been worse than the Mariners down the stretch. They've just squandered it. They were in the playoffs and they squandered it. The Mariners were always chasing since about June. Dodgers over the Padres 7-2, and the Mets and the Braves again were rained out. So there's going to be like a ton of games on the 30th to make up that series. So how does that affect things? Well, let's look at the standings. So we already knew this, but Houston, Cleveland, and the Yankees have all clinched their division. Baltimore clinched a wild card spot. They are 3 games up, 88 and 71. Then the Detroit Tigers at 85 and 74. 9-1 in their last 10. They've won 5 in a row. Kansas City, same record, 3-7, but they've won 3 in a row. Then the Minnesota Twins on the outside looking in, 3 games back, 82 and 77. And the Mariners, 3 games back, 82 and 77. So the Tigers are playing the White Sox in their last games. The Royals are playing the Braves. The Twins are hosting Baltimore, and the Mariners are hosting Baltimore. Yep. Pretty devastating stuff. Over in the National League. So the Mets, the divisions are sewed up. It's the Dodgers, Phillies, Brewers. Then the Padres have clinched a wild card with 3-game cushion. The Mets sit at 80 and 70, currently in the second wild card. The Diamondbacks are at 88 and 71 in the second wild card spot. A game behind them are the Braves at 86 and 71. But they've got all those makeup games against the Mets to play, so everything's going to hang in the balance there, and the Diamondbacks should just try and keep winning. Okay, excellent analysis, Dan. Just superb. So let's go to game day. Talk about what I like talking about. It's the Mariners and the Mariners lineup. So we've got Brian Wu on the hill, 8-3 this season, 3.02 ERA, 93 Ks. He's just been outstanding. He'll be going up against J.P. Sears, a lefty, 11-12, 4.43 ERA, and 133 Ks on the year. J.P. Sears made a lot of starts for the Oakland Athletics. This one's going from T-Mobile. You know where, Seattle, Washington, 10:10 p.m. tonight, September 27th, 2024. Behind Mr. Sears will be Lawrence Butler in right, Brent Rooker DHing, J.J. Bleday in center, Soderstrom at first, Brown in left, Geloff at second, Wilson at short, McCann catching, and Hernandez at third. For your Seattle Mariners, it'll be Julio Rodriguez in center, Cal Raleigh DHing, Randy Arozarena in left, Mitch Garver at catcher and batting cleanup, Dylan Moore at first, Mitch Haniger in right, J.P. Crawford at short, Luis Urias at third, and Leo Rivas at second base. A depressing lineup. We'll talk more over the course of the weekend about what is and what should be when we have time. But Mariners ownership should have done better by Seattle this season. And by Seattle, I mean the fans, the players on the team, and the city, I'm sure. Although I am an expatriate fan. If we had had a Rosarena, Robles, and Turner in the lineup from the very beginning, might have been a little bit more interesting. I also saw a very depressing. I don't want to. You know what?